Hey Gonzo Bankers, Tony DeSantis back with another hot take. Wanted to touch base on what's happening in the core space. We know there's a lot going on there, a lot of discussions around middlewares and next-gen cores. So I brought in the big guns here. Asked Steve Wildman to join us. He runs our core practice here at Cornerstone. So Steve, what are the hot topics and what's going on with core right now?
Thanks, Tony. The core market is still probably the least sexy of all the bank technologies, but it's necessary. And what we're seeing is, you mentioned the next-gen cores, is we're all keeping an eye on that market. It really hasn't come to fruition yet. We see some people that are dipping their toes in it.
Yeah.
And what happened was probably about 3 years ago, our clients were asking about it, what's going on. Probably 2 years ago, they said, well, tell me a little bit more. Last year, they started saying, okay, let's see some demos. And hopefully in the next year or two, we're going to see the market take off. The challenge is none of these cores are really what we call rip and replace, where we could get rid of the core we're on and convert day one onto these new platforms. So it's more of an evolutionary take. And chances are it would be one of several years and also involve some complexities, which might require like a systems integrator. And so it's the larger institutions right now that are probably driving the demand. But what we hope to see is as those stabilize and those cores become more complete, that more community institutions can engage with them. And then we can see that market start to take off. What we're telling clients right now is maybe start looking at your core strategy. So you're planning for the next 5 years, next 7 years to maybe take advantage of those new technologies that again are kind of in their evolutionary take right now. Now we do have a couple clients that have gone ahead and engaged with a next gen core, but they're going to have to run their existing core in a sidecar mode with the intent of over time is kind of sliding capabilities off the old core onto the new core.
So just to clarify, the upside of the next gen cores is...
Yeah, there's a few. One is certainly scalability, because they're going to be delivered through the public cloud, as you can take advantage of greater scale. Also, they are probably more open, and so there's a plus and a minus to that, but they're definitely more open, and so you can do best of breed. But the challenge is some of them are headless cores. So then you've got to look at, okay, do I need a teller system? And there's some capabilities that we might consider part of a normal core that have to be purchased through a third party. So that's the advantages. They're open. The disadvantages, they're probably a little too open right now for some of the community institutions. The other thing I think is real-time capabilities enables us to do maybe banking as a service, payments as a service. The middleware you mentioned earlier, some of them can serve in a middleware capacity. So there's a lot of potential applications for it. Again, we just want to see a little bit more out of them before we feel comfortable saying, hey, this is the path our clients should be taking today.
So really, if I can recap, then essentially not quite ready for prime time because they don't have the sort of complete core solution that our legacy cores have, but more efficient, faster, cloud-based, so scalable. But definitely moving in that direction, and more folks will adopt as more and more functionality gets built into this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the market's ready for it. I think people are tired of the big three, and so I think the market's ready for it. It's just they're not ready for the market of community institutions yet.
Nice. What do you think, ETA? If you had to guess.
I think probably in the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to see a couple of them start to get to a greater set of capabilities where they could be almost in a rip and replace mode, or where that running in parallel or in sidecar mode is shortened a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.